Hey gobs and non-gobs, it's TheGoblinKing with a brand new video. And I'm doing something new that I have never done before, so hopefully it's good. If you somehow haven't seen the title, it is going to be a somewhat in-depth review of the game Sonic Forces. I plan on doing more reviews in the future, maybe similar to how I'm doing this one, but who knows, we'll just have to see. Now I'm pretty sure almost everyone watching this video knows what Sonic Forces is, but here's a super short summary because I want to get to the review. Sonic Forces is a Sonic game where you can make your own custom character and wield a weapon, but gotta keep it easy. Even though you'll come to find out this doesn't happen often. Sonic is kidnapped, then almost immediately freed, and you have to stop Eggman and his creation, Infinite and previous villains. And that's about it. I will not be reviewing this as a Sonic game, like comparing it to other Sonic games, for I have not played many besides Sonic in the Secret Ring. And yep, that's pretty much it. I will be reviewing it as it is, and I will review it later on in the video as a Sonic game with help from a good friend of mine who actually played some of the other games. I haven't watched many reviews besides the ones that trash on some, like horrible 3D animated movies. So I'm a bit inexperienced, so I will be reviewing as below. I'll be listing everything I really liked about the game that had nothing bad with it first. Then I'll list what I hate, usually because everyone does it opposite. That way we can save the good stuff for last. Without further ado, the official Sonic Forces review in 2021 as a game. When it comes to Sonic games, most of them have the same good stuff in common, such as music and design, and Sonic Forces is no different. Almost all the tracks and songs in this game are bangers, so you'll just have to check them out in the playlist down below. Of course, hearing those classic Sonic sounds are nice. I may have not played barely any Sonic games, but I have watched others play it. And finally, the last purely good thing about this game is probably double boosting, but only because of the song that plays.
No matter what obstacles they put in our way, we'll blow past everything they throw at us. Double boost! Yeah, that's how it's done. We've got unstoppable speed and timing. We just have to keep this up. Bingo, found a way in.
You should be able to.
That's it for all the good stuff I found about the game, at least in its entirety. There are some minor things that I like, but they're mainly tainted by the bad stuff, which I will be discussing now. On a side note, platformers are my least favorite and least played type of games. But this is still my review, so here's all the bad stuff. Where to start with this game? From the surface it seems like an okay game, but when you get down into the nitty-gritty, or however you say, it really starts to sink. From the lazy writing to the awful level designs, we're just going to go at it. Let's start there. The story's bad and very generic. There are tons of friendship is power messages at every turn. The power the villain, Infinite, has is stupid. So stupid I forgot the name, but I can't even bother to look it up. Just know it's basically whatever I think becomes real. For example, in the story you fight bosses which were previous main villains from other Sonic games. These bosses are simply creations of this power. They have form and mass, so they can still hurt, and the power goes as far as to create thousands of these guys, yet it took Eggman 3 days to create a sun that's way smaller than our sun. And oh yeah, why is Eggman trying to nuke every living thing with a sun? And if that was his initial goal, why didn't he do it when Sonic was locked away? But that's just how poorly the story is written. Now, one of the key points of this game was the ability to create your own character, or a self-insert for those Sonic fanfic dreams. I could feel every brain cell dying as I made my character, but a ray of hope entered my brain when I decided to make the best canon character ever. Light-skinned Sonic. He is 100% official and no one can tell me otherwise. Sega, you better include him in the next game because he has been in the story for years now and he has gotten no representation. Anyways, there are tons of options to customize your character. Problem is, you barely play this character at all. Out of 30 main missions, you only played them for 9, excluding partner missions, cause obviously you're only playing Sonic in those anyways. But that ain't so bad I guess, cause the game is called Sonic, and the character doesn't impact the story all that much. I almost forgot to mention that there are lots of Gensus. Now I know they're just there to change the color of your character's body entirely, but look at this and tell me this isn't a BDSM slave waiting for the master's next command. And yes, Sonic is a BDSM master. Now on to the bad stuff. The level designs. In the first level, you are stopped a couple times for the most inconvenient thing. Tutorials that are placed on these little way markers that you hit and are really hard to avoid. These give you simple little things like press X to jump, but stop you completely. Why not just put it in the middle of the screen? In fact, this doesn't happen after the first couple levels. In other levels, they become completely optional. You have to go out of your way to hit them. It doesn't help that every character feels like they're constantly on ice, but this could just be me and my untamed Sonic hands. Boss levels are very tedious, where you just do the same thing 3 to 5 times and you beat the boss, with only slight changes between phases. However, I will give credit to where credit is due. When you get hurt during Infinite's fights, you actually get punished to where the stage becomes slightly more challenging. But for the final fight with Infinite, they literally just reskinned Metal Sonic Final Fight and made it slightly different. Excluding specific sandal levels, that's about it, besides one level where it's hard to tell enemies from the level itself. But that's a very minor gripe considering how short the level is. Which brings me to my next point. A lot, if not all, the levels are incredibly short, and the only time they are long are when I can't get past a section, cause again, I'm not good at platformers. Meaning many levels can be beaten with usually 1 to 3 minutes. And out of 30 main missions, and out of 7 boss fights, and some partner levels, that means 21 out of 30 main missions can be beaten within an average of about an hour. But do shorter levels mean they're bad? Not at all, unless of course those levels are filled with tons of bad designs, such as waiting for platformers, because you're not good at instant reacting, or just having to sledge through droves of enemies by mashing the attack button continually. The partner levels even have sections where you have to defeat all the enemies in a ring just to move on, which if you even remember that you have a weapon, can still take so long ruining the flow, because you're going fast, then boom, you're just wasting your time beating enemies and moving to the next platform, not to mention that dying before hitting the next checkpoint means you have to sit there and beat all those enemies again. And what's bad is that the best levels where you play as Sonic are entirely almost autoplay until it changes to side scroll. Then you're just moving through the level waiting for platforms. If you're not holding forward and button mashing, then you're holding down boost the entire time. And that's about it for Sonic levels. Now the levels where you play as your character are basically Sonic levels, but alternate paths to use your weapons and no boosting. So slower and boring. But hey, that beats those stupid classic Sonic levels. I'm going to be real with you. Out of everything in this game, classic Sonic levels take the cake. Apart from controlling the slowest of the characters, you also play only side-scrolling. These levels are horrendous to play through. I'd rather the whole game be Sonic boosting through levels with little to no manual input than play these levels. Classic Sonic has no moves besides running and being able to jump through enemies, but only if you time the jumps right. Did I mention he's slow? He's incredibly slow. So slow that running through the boosters or picking up a speed boost doesn't even feel fast compared to other levels. The final level where you play as him wasn't bad at first, because I was already used to the crap of the other levels. But then, they went and made the worst decision ever. They made it auto-scrolling. The auto-scroll starts out extremely slow, but just decides to speed up, but not fast enough because it's still super slow. Auto-scroll levels were already bad, but playing as the slowest piece of crap character in the game is 10 times worse. I loathe every part of this level, and I was happy when I saw him go through a stupid portal at the end of the game. If I had to put a rating on this game, I'd say I let about 400 out of 1,000 gobs play this game. while definitely not the worst thing Sega has done, it's up there once you really get into it. Also, you should listen to Fist Bump and repeat 100 times without pause. Now I went to a Sonic expert, and yes, he does have high-functioning autism, as all Sonic experts do, and got his insight on Sonic Forces, but reviewed or compared as to other Sonic games. This is what my best YouTube friend had to say. Channel link in description. This part is really long, so I'm just going to go through and speed run it. I don't care how many mistakes there are. He had a lot to say, so let's go. I think Sonic Forces really represents a culmination of every mistake Sega has made up to this point with their team. They have a clear aversion to sticking with any idea or formula for too long out of what seems like fuel to fan base in a way. And so far, the boost gameplay that Sonic Unleashed introduced seems to have sucked up the longest, but with every entry it gets more clouded and screwed up, and kinda boring. Sonic Forces mechanically is an okay-ish game for the most part, but the sages are really uninspired with no personality or thought to how it shapes the game's narrative. And as a part of that, the haphazard way Sega has handled the series lore makes no sense and really detracts from the experience. You can follow a narrative through line from Sonic 1 to about Sonic Heroes to about Sonic Generations, where certain things are definitely established and made canon, like Tails' character arc, where he goes from a small child following Sonic and relying on him for protection in Sonic 2, to someone grows up into his own person who can save the day on his own in Sonic Adventure. Sonic Generations introduces the concept of classic Sonic, explicitly referring to him as a younger version of Sonic from those old games. With the Sonic and Adventure onward simply being more grown up, and it goes on to celebrate that. The issues after Generations, Sega has like a midlife crisis or something. And with the confidence in the Sonic series already on the decline from stuff like 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog, they kinda gave up on what they had defined Sonic as. Lost World tried to make it Mario. Black Knight thrusted Sonic into a medieval fantasy adventure detached from the main story of the series. The Sonic Forces introduces the idea that classic Sonic was not actually a younger version of Sonic, but that it was a different version from a different timeline, which directly contradicts the things directly stated in Generations. Not only that, but they go back on character arcs. Tails and Forces once again a terrified child, freezing up in the face of infinite shadow monster things, and they need classic Sonic to save him. And they also can't decide how the world itself functions. The biggest confusing aspect of Sonic is how humans fit into it. They are a controversial aspect, but Adventure 1 and 2 set up an explanation, where there's an island where assumed animals live and have adventures on, but there's also human settlements elsewhere that he travels to occasionally, with Angel Island and all that fitting into the whole map quite neatly. The problem is that with these games, after that kind of dropped the concept. The Sonic fitting between human background characters and anthropomorphic animal background character, not to do them existing in the same world, but being in different places on Earth, but with the idea of further alternate worlds, a Sonic either can freely travel between, or with another possible explanation, being that there are two different alternate Sonics that each individually live in one of these worlds, and we are just switching between their adventures. But the true schematics of how it works aren't explained. So due to this, how tired they seem of making an interesting story for a Sonic game, how much wasted potential there is within the game, how unwilling Sega is to stick with a gimmick for their game, and all these other factors, Forces stands as a testament to how Sega plans, or rather lack of plans, for Sonic are not working out and actively damaging the brand further than it already has been. That was a mouthful. Thank you for your input. Again, his channel link is in the description below. Well, gobs and non-gobs, I hope you enjoyed this definitely different video of mine. I would like to say I enjoyed putting it together, but then again, I had to play through the Sonic Forces, and hopefully I never had to play another Sonic game after this. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more, if I ever upload again. Have a gob day.